Hop on. All right, so we are recording now. So the topic that we wanted to cover tonight was objections. So Dawn and Christine, I imagine that you guys, as you have conversations, you're probably getting some objections from people. So we kind of wanted to talk about some of the ones that you're getting probably the most often, and let's see if we can kind of chat about it and see if we can come up with some responses. Well, let's hear what your responses were, and Liz and I are going to give you a little bit of feedback on what we might say, or the questions that we might ask to kind of keep the conversation going based on those objections that you guys are hearing. Does that sound cool? Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Dawn, since you're unmuted already, why don't you go ahead? What's the one objection that you're hearing the most of?
Well, I haven't heard too many just because I just started this business just, several weeks ago. The only things I've faced so far were the cost, obviously. Hold on. Erin, can you let Sammy out, please? With the cost. And I've explained to people that, mostly it's from people I personally know. So, and they know the financial position we're in. And I said, look, I wouldn't get involved in something that I couldn't afford. And I look at it as I'm buying a lot less produce than I used to because I'm getting it all in Shakeology. And I look at it as a $4 meal compared to spending $30 a week on, tons of produce that goes bad and I throw out. So I kind of try to put things in a bit of a perspective for them. Mm-hmm. And then I try to give them the long-term look of it, how it's better for, because I give away samples of it. I've given away my little, a scoop inside of a baggie, and I've given it to people to try, and they liked it. And I actually did it, and I sold my first challenge pack last week. Today I gave away 2 more free samples, so I'm waiting to hear back from them. The other one I found is not necessarily an objection, but it's a close friend of mine that tried it. He has issues with vitamin C. If he has too much, he gets canker sores in his mouth. So I told him to try the chocolate vegan because I don't think it has as much vitamin C as the vanilla does. But that's something that he experienced. So I haven't had that many objections yet, and I sort of came onto this meeting tonight mostly to hear other people and what they've experienced and to how to overcome it. Because I'm one of those that, I had my first, I met somebody today and I gave her my samples and I posted on Team Do It Now, any suggestions, and I gave the rundown of what this woman's going through. She wants to lose 30 to 40 pounds. She just lost her job. And Tamara and Michelle gave me great suggestions. Mm-hmm. But I'm one of those that the minute I see the person, my mouth just gets tangled up in words, and either I say too much or I don't say enough. I forget something. So I'm really trying to find how I could be much more comfortable talking to people I know about the product. And I honestly think that'll come with time because I've only been doing this now for about 6 weeks.
Yep, absolutely. So that definitely comes with, it absolutely comes with time and with practice. But here's what I want you to think about. So you just said, I talk too much. So what I want you to think, so were you on Tammy's call last Monday, the 8:30 Do It Now call, where she went through those PowerPoint slides?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
She went through those 10 questions, right? So I want you, when you're talking to people, are you always face-to-face with people? Are you on the phone? Are you messaging them? What do you do?
Mostly messaging them through Facebook. They've seen my posts.
Okay.
They've participated in my challenge groups.
Yep.
And they see, because they see the, what's the public page I posted my videos on of me doing the 21-day fix moves and whatnot. And I do my Shakeology. So they've seen that and they're very inspired by that.
Awesome.
That's how I'm getting people.
Perfect. So what I want you to do is have that list of 10 questions next to you. Right? So as you're going through and as you're talking with people and you're kind of having these initial conversations, have that list of 10 questions next to you. Right? So what you want to do is you want to ask those really open-ended questions to kind of delve more into it. And then I want you to be quiet and just listen to what they have to say.
Okay. Yeah, because I do tend to rush things.
Yep. Just be quiet and just listen. Just ask those questions. You know what I mean? The question that I have found that I've had the most success with in talking to people is what makes this time different than all the other times that you've tried losing weight? What's different now? What's different in your head or in your lifestyle or in your family environment? What's different now than what it has been in the past?
Good.
And then I shut my trap and I let them talk. So that's one of the things I want you to do, right? So when you, and Liz, correct me if I'm wrong or pop in at any point in time, but that's one of the things that we do. So you said you get an objection about price.
Yeah.
I will tell you that 95% of the time when I'm on the phone with somebody, price never even comes up. They never ask. They
it hasn't
never
come up too much with me either, except for today, because the woman had just lost her job, I guess, but she's desperate to lose 30 to 40 pounds by next summer. So she was a little bit concerned about the cost of something and the commitment to it. That's what she was concerned with. So, you know, she is a potential Beachbody coach as well, too. I did speak briefly about that, but I didn't want to give her too much information all at once because it can really be overwhelming. So I just said to her, start with the samples I gave you and I'll follow up in a few days. And hopefully we'll see what go from there.
Okay,
but every situation is a little different.
Perfect. Here's what I want you to do too. When you guys, when you kind of end a conversation, kind of leaving it in limbo with them, ask them how many days they need before you reach back out to them.
Okay.
Try and set that appointment. Great. So should I reach out to you on Thursday? You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So kind of ask them when else would be a good time for you to kind of follow up. You know what I mean? So this way you're not being a pain in the neck. She told you, reach out to me on Thursday. You're not a pain in the neck. She told you to reach out on Thursday, right?
Right.
That's what I was going to say about the whole talking too much thing. And all you have to do is when you see somebody and connect with somebody, you also want to, you're here to help people also. So don't try to over talk and oversell or over inform them. If you just connect with them and then follow up with them. Good job.
Yay!
So when you connect with make that good impression, like you actually care, and ask a question and then let them talk. And you don't have to get it all out right then and there. Facebook, cell phone number, let me contact you and I'll reach out to you. So make sure you make that connection. You don't have to worry about that sell right away. You want to make sure you really get to know that person, because then you can actually guide them in the direction too.
Okay, cool. All right, Christine, your turn.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yep, no problem, Dawn. So you have to unmute, Christine.
I'm sorry, I thought I was unmuted. I apologize.
Oh, good.
All right, so I guess still learning about the products and everything and trying to make sure that I have, all the information so that I can answer all the questions. I think my biggest thing is the price. I think initially people, I had this one person that when she found out I was going to be a coach, she was so excited to, because she, likes me and we get along really great. And she was so excited because I'm motivating. And, but then she never got back to me. And I sort of thought she's my boss. So I really can't be too pushy with her, but I do, kind of poke my head in and say, when are you ready to talk? But I think it's the price that's keeping her away. And I'm trying to, explain to people that it's $4 a meal and that whole thing. Okay. She never actually really said the words, but I think that, I would have to say that she's a single parent and she has 2 boys that are in college. So I'm thinking that maybe, that could be why she doesn't want to do it, or she's afraid of maybe failing because she's done the Weight Watchers thing and all that. You know what I mean? Yep.
So you're already assuming the objection of price though, and she hasn't told you, and she hasn't, so it's one of those things that, here's my suggestion. Don't talk about it for a little bit. You know what I mean? Kind of you back off a little bit on it. Just have regular ongoing conversations with her. And eventually,
I'll go over there. I don't know what to say.
It's going to be one of those things that it's going to come up in conversation.
What?
And you're just going to ask those questions, right? So we're going to review those 10 questions again from that PowerPoint. Were you on the call last week?
Yes.
Okay. So make sure you've got those questions, right? And just kind of learn a few of them. You don't need to know all 10 of them. But you can kind of go through them and learn a little bit, right? And if she says to you, you know what I mean? So if it eventually comes to that point where you're like, so what's holding you back? What is it that's holding you back? You know, and then that's when she's going to say, oh, I think it might be too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if I'm going to have success this time, right? So you've already said, well, she might fail because she already did Weight Watchers and she failed at that. Or it could be
Right.
the price. So she hasn't told you yet because you haven't asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Sure.
don't assume that you know what the objection is going to be before you even ask the question.
Right. Don't prejudge.
Right. Don't prejudge.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Totally.
Okay. And one other thing. So you said, I want to make sure that I have all of the information so I can answer all of their questions.
Mm-hmm.
So Liz, let me ask you, what do you know about Tai Cheng? Nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I guess I just, what I mean is I want to be as informed as I possibly can so that I can answer a question and sound like I know what I'm talking about. But I mean, I have no problem going to my upline because I've been going to her, you know, throughout this, you know, all the people that I've been working with so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem saying, you know, that's a great question. Let me find out for you, you know, that, but I want to be able to have some information about Beachbody and the programs that I'm working on and, you know, or that we have to offer, that kind of thing.
And that will come with time. That will come with, and you are new, so you will reach out to your upline. That's what they're there for. That's what we're all here for, to help guide you and somewhat speak for you, but somewhat to help teach you how to actually speak to them yourself. You know, you have to, I think you really have to come from experience. You can't just do it for 6 weeks and expect to know it all and expect to talk. You know what I mean? You have to speak from yourself, your experience with Shakeology and the programs and everything else. And if you don't know, yes, being honest is we're here to be honest about everything. You know what, I'm really new and I'm going to find out for you and, you know, and all that stuff. So don't overthink. Don't think that you have to know it all because none of us still know it all. You go off from what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be true to what you're saying. Otherwise, it's not going to come out the way that they're looking for. It's going to come out fake. It's going to come out not making sense because you're just trying to convince them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's okay not to know it all or not to, you know, come from experience and just get on the 3-way message with your upline or, you know, and that there's nothing wrong with that. And because it kind of shows that you are there for them and you want to give them the best that you can give them.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes
kind of
sense.
makes sense?
Totally.
Okay. What other objections are you hearing, Christine, as you're talking to people?
Well, the 2 contacts that I had that bought the 21-day fix from 21dayfix.com, I didn't speak with one woman, but one of the guys that I did speak with, he was somebody that I knew from high school. And we were having like a private, he reached out to me because he wanted to ask me questions about the 21-day fix because he knew that I did it from my posts. So we were talking about that. And so I asked him if he had a coach. And he said that when he was ordering the 21-day fix, the person on the phone was trying to get him to, you know, order all these other things, and he was getting annoyed and frustrated with her. So he just was like, I just want that, and that's it. And then he hung up. So to me, that was a message like, you know, he really wasn't ready for a coach yet. So I left it that, well, when you get the 21-day fix, if you have any questions, let me know. And then maybe we'll talk about some other things that worked for me while I was working on the 21-day fix. So I sort of left it, I'm here, I'm available for you. But I didn't want to push him into, you know, getting a coach if that's not what he really wants at the moment.
Right. So here's the thing though, right? So he called like the 1-800 line. So he was basically talking to a customer service telemarketing rep.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a coach.
Right.
So you as a coach, you know, your role as a coach is not to push product on people. Your role as a coach is to support him to be as successful as he can be following the 21-day fix. So you're not there to push extra product on him and stuff like that unless he's looking for something. So I think that you need to make that differentiation to him to say, you know what, that was customer service, that was a telemarketer. My role as a coach is totally different from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he needs to be aware of that too, that's not your job. Like your job isn't to say, hey, so you want to buy that Shakeology boost too? Hey, and what about those greens and those digestive? That's not your role.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're just there to support him.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so then maybe once he gets his 21-day fix package, I can follow up with him in a couple of weeks and see how he's doing, and then maybe offer him this new Energize product that, tell him about that, maybe to sort of pique his interest or something.
Or, go ahead, Liz.
Have you asked any lead that I get or any customer that I get, my number one first thing that comes out is I want to know more about you. I want to know about you, your lifestyle, your schedule, your personal goals, your fitness goals. Because if you don't know any of that, and they're ordering the 21-day fix, and they travel a lot, or they do things, there's going to be different stuff. If you get to know them more, find out more about that person, and that's what a coach is about, or a sales rep, or the customer service. It's gonna, what I mean? They're not in it for that. You're in it for that person. So if you get to know them more, it just takes it to a different level. Talk to them more before you start throwing things at them.
Right. Yeah. And we had a nice conversation. Yeah, it was a nice conversation. And he told me what he's doing now as far as exercise. And he just wants to lose 10 pounds, and he thought that this would be a great way for him to do it. Mm-hmm. He's active. He's an active person. So I did make that connection. Like, I get that. I really understand that piece of it. Like, you don't want to jump in, selling. You're there to help and provide suggestions and things like that.
Right.
Perfect. Also, what you might want to do is ask him if he's on Facebook and see if he wants to join your next challenge group.
Okay.
And you can support him inside of a challenge group.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an easy question there too, without having to one-on-one follow up. And now, you know what I mean? You can put him into a challenge group and support him there. And then he's got the support of everybody else inside that challenge group as well.
Okay.
Good questions. Good objections. All right, Megan, you're up. She's like, oh crap, really? I have to unmute? She's like, I don't know how to unmute. There we go.
I'm so used to doing it on my phone, sorry. And my son just asked me, why do we have moms? I don't know. And then he called me. So I've been a coach for a while, but I have the same objections that everyone does. But I think now people know that I'm like for real. And they don't give me those, excuse my language, those BS objections because they don't cut it for me. But I think that the biggest one is always the money. But as Tina said, as time goes on, you don't get that objection as much because it just doesn't come up. I think that they're just more serious. So my objections are just, a lot of people say I don't have time. So we try to get around that. I've learned, I guess, over the last several months, for everything they have, I have something better. You just have to believe in yourself and trust in what we all know works. And for me, that's what I fly by. Mm-hmm. So to me anymore, I don't take anything. I don't get objections. I have answers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think for me, I think it's gotten to the point now where people just aren't ready. And my take is, you know what, if you're not ready, I'm okay with that. I'm going to reach out to you next month, the month after, 3 months from now, whatever it is. Because if they're not ready, I don't really want to sell them a challenge pack, right? I don't want to force them to take that challenge pack because they're not going to drink their shake every day. They're not going to do their fitness program. They're not going to have success. And they're going to say, well, it's my fault. It's Beachbody's fault. It's everybody else's fault but their own. So if they're not ready, I don't want them to sell this. I don't want to sell that challenge pack. And so I'm like, okay, that's all right. I'll just reach out to you in a couple of months then and kind of see where you are then. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So you're always kind of keeping that pipeline filled too, right? Liz, what do you think?
I have a story. There's at the Y where I work. There's a woman, Lil, who does the babysitting and, watches our kids and stuff. So I came walking into the gym to pick up my kids, and she's like, look at you, Miss Fitness, blah, blah, you're all over the place. I love it. And, you're doing so great. And, I'd love to try the Shakeology thing, but it's really expensive. It seems really expensive. I'm like, yeah, Lil, but it's really not. I'm like, it seems like it because it's a one big chunk, but it's really not that expensive. And I tell my own story, my own personal story. I'm like, I don't even have a savings account. I have no savings account. And I get 2 bags of Shakeology every month. One for my husband and one for me because my husband won't give it up either. But I said, so if you think it's that expensive, what do you eat for breakfast? How much do you spend at the grocery store every month for your breakfast? Add that up for 1 month. what are you buying? Eggs, fruit, yogurt, like whatever you're spending, and your snack, because you don't need your snack eventually. Like, what are you spending? So if you add all that up, I said, it's really not that expensive. It's $4. So if you don't have to buy your groceries and you don't have to buy that extra coffee, then it's the same thing. It's just the chunk.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, that was just something. And she's like, oh, all right. Well, then give me the info. Where do I go to check it out? I said, well, and I messaged her right there in the gym, sent her my link, sent her all the stuff. And I said, here it is. Check it out. And then let me know what you think. So, just there's ways that you don't have to be. You can have just a normal conversation. If they think it's expensive, it's really not that expensive. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
What do you think? Mama, new mama, talk to us.
Show us your boobs.
Okay. Let me put my boobs away. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't listen to them anymore. I think as soon as they start giving me objections, I ask more questions because I really want to understand what they're, where they're coming from, and yes, there is a financial part to it. Yes, it is. But, like you said, break it down. Let's get in touch with what their lifestyle is. How many times a day are they going through Dunkin' Donuts? How many times a day are they grabbing something out on the fly, like a bagel and coffee? That's, once you get a sense of their lifestyle and they're telling you more personal stuff and you're asking more questions, at the end of the conversation, you're not going to have that stuff anymore, because I always go back through my IM thread and make sure that I'm asking more questions than I'm talking.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm talking, I'm like, okay, because it's really easy to just start like filling in the gaps. But when I really step back and say, am I talking more than them? Am I getting really a good sense of what's going on with them and what their lifestyle is like? If I haven't asked 5 questions at least in the last 10 interactions, then I need to be asking more questions. And by that point, I have a better sense of what their lifestyle is. I mean, and this comes with time. Like my neighbor, I just was like so excited when I first started that I recommended Insanity to her, and she hated it. She absolutely hated it. Like, and she now I'm like, oh my God, that was like the wrong thing, like totally wrong for her. Because I didn't ask enough questions and I was too like bent on like the next thing and where I wanted to go. And I see like a big 2 on her forehead. We've done it. Like,
that's great.
Hello, SC2. Like, no, like slow it down and just ask questions and just get to where they're at and what their lifestyle is like. And by the end of that, you're going to be done. You're not going to be selling anything. You're just going to be helping them out with something that they have shared with you. And it's hard. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's the 28th. You're at 4, SC2. I get it. But
yeah,
you got to treat everybody the same way, and then it will happen and it will come. So I guess that's the best I can say for right now. But go through your thread and make sure you're asking enough questions and you're not just spitting information. How would you feel if you were on the end of that conversation? Would you feel like somebody's trying to sell you a used car, or would you feel like somebody is caring about what's going on with you? So you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. That's what I always say. So
you guys have kind of caught the theme here, right? So we're always talking about asking those questions, right? And it's just about asking more, learning more, delving more into, there's a reason why we always talk about getting to people's whys, right? It's not just us as coaches talking about our why. It's also talking to your challengers about what their why is, right? What's their why? Like, why would life be different if you lost those 30 or 40 pounds by next summer? What does life look like to you then? What makes life different then than it is right now if you lose those 30, 40 pounds? Tell me about that. Tell me about what life looks like for you. Is it a better life? Is it a healthier life? Is it a more active life? Tell me about it. Talk to me about it, right? So, Mandy, you just hopped on. Better late than never, I guess.
Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
so we're talking about objections. Tell us what some of your objections are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
I was on the other call at the same time, which I'm still on right now. So hold on a second. Objections I'm running into. Well, I definitely, lately I've been just running into like just discouragement, if I can just talk about that really quickly, because I feel like I'm running into where I'm forming and I'm talking and I'm building relationships with a lot of people, and they say, okay, I invite them to my challenge group. They say that they're gonna do it. And then it comes to the point where it gets closer to the date, and I check in with them and say, hey, I see, I just want to check in. The challenge group starts at this date, let me know if you need any help, putting your order through, blah, blah, blah. And then like recently, like today, the girl just, she just was dragging her feet, and she's like, actually, I had a gift card to Amazon, and I ended up trying to buy Shakeology through Amazon instead of through you. So it's like just those little roadblocks that I feel like I spend so much time and effort on this, and I'm just kind of like struggling right now with all that. Because I feel like I'm spending a lot of time, making invites, or I'm not hearing back from anybody, to be honest with you.
Right. So you get like those crickets. So, right. So, so the first thing that you mentioned is that, you've kind of gone back and forth, you've formed a little bit, you kind of know what they want. You've invited them to the challenge group, and they are like, great, I'm in. Great. Do you have a couple of minutes right now? Let's get on the phone and put that order through right now with you. So don't give them the opportunity to walk away from that. Right. Okay. So I think Shane was saying the other night on her call, like, life happens. Right. You know what I mean? And life gets in the way. Same thing with me. Like, my husband's like, did you call for oil? Did you call for oil? No, but I have myself a big ass note that's sitting right here on my desk tomorrow that I called for oil. Right? So life gets in the way, and we kind of forget about things. So it's like, when you get to that point in the conversation when they're like, great, I'm in. Great, let's get on the phone and do it right now.
Okay.
Try not to let it go beyond that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
What was the other thing? Crickets? Yeah, we all get crickets.
Right. Yeah.
Liz, Kristen, crickets all the time.
Yeah. And really,
tumbleweeds.
If they're not ready at that moment, and of course some people do go by payday, and it's like, well, we're not ready right now. Well, what day will you be ready? Because I will call you on this day, and I will help you with your order on the phone. So even that, if they're not ready that point in time, ask when they're ready, when's a good starting point, and call them on that day. I will call you on this day, and we'll get it done. What's a good time to call you at?
Okay. And now, like, if you have like a personal friend that you've been, I kind of like, what I do is I'm friends with them on Facebook. I haven't really talked to them in a while. So I kind of like check out their Facebook page, look at their pictures, see what they've been posting. And then I kind of like message them and say, hey, I saw a picture of your daughter, or, like bringing up something to talk about. And, I've been talking to this one girl, and she's been, saying how much she shows interest with the 21-day fix. And I shared my experience with her. And then I asked her, what her goals were. She just had her second baby. She's breastfeeding. So she, needs the extra nutrition. She likes the shake idea, but then also, the meal program as well, and stuff like that. And so, but then in between, we're kind of like going back and forth and talking about personal things. So it's like, sometimes I find like, I don't want to, like, when I check in with her next time, I don't want to be like following up on the whole, what she wants to do. I want to like bring up, you know what I mean? Like, so I have to try to figure out what else to like talk about other than let's do this, you know?
And sometimes you'll find that conversation really doesn't go anywhere. Let's say if you're talking about 21-day fix, and the conversation just kind of turns away from that, that's okay. Like, because the next time you reach out to her and you say, so how was vacation? Something totally different, don't even bring it up. But by you reaching out, it's going to trigger her memory to be like, oh, that's right, I was talking to Mandy about 21-day fix, and she'll bring it up. So sometimes it's just a matter of restarting those conversations with something totally not Beachbody related at all.
Okay. Even making a purpose to comment on their posts on Facebook. Just to like, if they see your post, like, oh, great pictures, or, anything like that, if they keep seeing your name come up, you know what I mean? It might even help a little bit.
Yeah, I always definitely make sure I do that.
Another big thing is that, yes, they said before, anybody's birthday, Tom, Dick, or Harry, happy birthday, Tom, Dick, Harry, anything, post, because they'll see your name.
I usually send a personal message. not just like on like their wall. So I send like, I think I learned that from you, Tina.
Actually, you know what? It was you can send them voice recordings and actually wish them a happy birthday, like in a voice recording on private message, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, that is a cool idea.
You know. So
Or
yeah, I
sing
don't
to
know. We, when Alex was here from corporate, she was like, you just record. I don't know if you can do it on the computer. Can you do it on the computer? I don't know. I can only do it on my phone, but you can send a recording.
Yeah,
just wish them a nice little happy birthday. I know your wall is going to get inundated with happy birthday messages, so I just wanted to make this a little more personal and send you a
Yeah.
happy birthday message.
Yeah, I like that.
I haven't done it yet, but I love that idea.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your challenge for this next week, right? Because everybody has a birthday every day, right? There's always people
Right.
there. So your challenge this week,
Yeah.
send at least two voice message happy birthday messages, okay?
You got
And
it.
just see how that goes. Just see what the
Okay.
response is, and let's kind of share that on the page,
Okay.
okay? And see how that
All
goes.
right.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Yeah, Kristen looks thrilled over there. Is she sleeping?
Right?
Is she frozen? Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is.
All right. We've got 2 minutes left. Any other questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas?
I'm good.
You're good? Everybody's good?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for all the help and advice too. So
Just
wish me luck with it all.
Don't get discouraged because it all happens in time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen. It'll happen.
I hear that
Yep,
people's
absolutely.
success stories, and I know it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Yep, it does. It takes a while. Just be consistent in your actions. All right, so we have our 8:30 Do It Now call, so we will see you all over there in 6 minutes. I think we have a guest speaker tonight, right? Greg's hopping on our team call tonight, so definitely hop on that. Greg's, he's an entertaining guy. I could listen to Greg all the time. So let's hop on over there, and we'll see you there in 5 minutes, and otherwise we'll catch you on the page, okay?
All right, cool.
Thanks, everybody.